Robin Williams, a name that for many sparks immediate joy and laughter. His boundless energy, quick wit, and heartwarming characters have left an indelible mark on comedy and film history. From Mork and Mindy to Mrs. Doubtfire, Good Morning, Vietnam to Dead Poets Society, Williams captivated audiences with his sheer versatility. Yet, behind the rapid-fire humor and infectious laughter, there was a man who struggled with profound inner demons. For over 3 decades, Williams brought joy to millions, but like so many comedians, his public persona stood in stark contrast to his private battles. Born in Chicago in 1951, Robin McLaurin Williams seemed destined for comedy. He was a shy child, often playing alone with his vast imagination. It wasn't until his family moved to San Francisco and he discovered theater that he began to come out of his shell. Comedy, it seemed, was his outlet, a place where he could be whoever he wanted. By the 1970s, Williams had made his mark with Mork and Mindy, a sitcom about an alien navigating human life. It was a hit, and suddenly, Robin was a household name. He seemed unstoppable. His hyperactive delivery, improvisation skills, and ability to switch between voices and characters with lightning speed made him a comedy phenomenon. But behind the iconic routines was a man who felt deeply misunderstood and isolated. Williams himself once said, "Comedy is acting out optimism." For Robin, comedy was often a mask, one that concealed his ongoing struggles with mental health. The very energy that entertained millions also seemed to be a defense mechanism against a creeping sadness. Robin's journey wasn't just about laughs. Beneath the frenetic performances was a man dealing with severe depression, addiction, and eventually a devastating diagnosis. For much of his career, he spoke openly about his battles with substance abuse. The pressures of fame and the loneliness that came with it had driven him to alcohol and cocaine in the late 1970s and early 80s. He once quipped, "Cocaine is God's way of telling you you're making too much money." Williams would eventually overcome his addictions, crediting the birth of his son for his sobriety, but his struggle with mental health persisted. Despite the smiles, jokes, and endless energy on screen, depression loomed large in his life. In interviews, Williams occasionally hinted at this inner turmoil, even acknowledging the duality of his existence, feeling isolated and broken despite the constant laughter around him. While Williams is remembered as a comedic genius, his dramatic work reveals a deeper, more vulnerable side. Roles like Good Will Hunting and Dead Poets Society showcased a man capable of profound emotional depth. In Good Will Hunting, as Dr. Sean Maguire, Williams' portrayal of a therapist struggling with his own grief resonated with audiences worldwide. His performance earned him an Academy Award. It was in roles like these that Williams seemed to channel his own struggles, showing a raw, tender side that was often masked by his comedy. But even this success didn't soothe his pain. In 2014, the world was shocked to learn of Robin Williams' death by suicide. What many didn't know was that Robin had been diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, a debilitating and progressive brain disease. In his final years, Williams struggled with severe anxiety, paranoia, and memory loss, symptoms of the illness that were misdiagnosed as Parkinson's disease. His widow, Susan Schneider Williams, later spoke about how the illness had stripped him of his confidence and sense of self. It was a cruel irony. The man who had brought joy to so many was losing his ability to find it himself. His diagnosis wasn't publicly known until after his death, leaving many to wonder how this brilliant mind had come to such a tragic end. Robin Williams left behind a legacy not just of laughter, but of empathy and connection. His ability to tap into the human condition, whether through comedy or drama, was unparalleled. But his story reminds us of the complexity of those who bring us joy, the sadness behind the smile, the weight carried by the man who could make the world laugh. It's easy to look at someone like Robin Williams and see only the entertainer, the one who made us laugh until we cried. But for Robin, the laughter wasn't just a performance. It was a way to survive. Robin Williams' story, like that of so many comedians, is one of contrast, a joyful public persona masking deep personal struggles. His life was filled with moments of laughter, but also moments of profound pain. As we remember his incredible talent, we also remember the man behind the smile, an artist who gave everything to his craft even as he wrestled with demons of his own.